Oh, 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 oh. It's 8 a.m. You're live. We did it. We started on time. Holy shit. Incredible. Now I got to make sure is I don't look at the YouTube video because it's at a different rate. Pop out chat. Now I can see what all the peoples are saying. Dallin
There's a way.
Pepper.
Oh, that's cool.
He's been on the show now for 2 minutes, and we haven't greeted him because we like to keep it all awkward until it's live. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to be here.
Have you ever met Brian Friend? I know I've never met you.
Yes, I have met Brian a couple times, I believe.
Hey, Katie, it's a little early for smart talk. All right. Wait, a guest showed up yesterday. Our guest didn't show up, Dallin.
Oh, for real?
In 117 shows, that's the second time that happened. Yeah, Robert Guerrero didn't show up. That he's fighting on the Manny Pacquiao card this weekend. I don't know if you're a boxing fan or not, but I'm really glad you showed up. To get two in a row that didn't show up would be brutal. We'd have to pack up.
Turn it over to the CrossFit podcast or whatever's going on.
It's pretty. Don't mention them again, please. It's pretty remarkable the transformation you've gone in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I'm lots bigger. Grown a lot in a lot of different ways. So
How old are you right now?
I'm 19.
And do you remember when you first made your very first Instagram post? I usually have that information at my fingertips.
Yes, so I actually started a separate Instagram when I started CrossFit because I didn't want the kids at school to make fun of me. But I do remember the first one, yeah.
Oh, I like that. Tell me about that. How old were you, and like, why would they make fun of you? This is good. We're already
I would
getting
have
good.
been, so I was like big into baseball and football, and I would have been 13 or 14 probably when I made the first post on like my CrossFit Instagram, which is the only one I use now. But like just a fitness account, all the kids already made fun of me for eating vegetables and working out all the time. I'm sure they thought it was cool, but I was still self-conscious about it and wasn't confident in that. And so I made a separate account and then I started posting CrossFit stuff there. Yeah.
So basically, they would just it wouldn't be like mean making fun, but they'd be
No.
like, "Oh, Dallin thinks he's buff," or
Yeah.
"Look at Dallin got a new PR." Or they'd be here. You are just trying to be low key and just document your journey, and they would just be taking the piss out of you.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, anytime I'd walk into any room, it's like, oh, Mr. CrossFit, like all that. And then like once I started going to the games and stuff, like I I had more confidence in myself to know that they did think it was cool. They were just giving me a hard time, liked me and wanted to be my so.
Right. That's the stage I'm in with Brian. I make fun of him, but it's really I just like him, and I'm just having trouble expressing it.
Yeah, of course.
I think he's pretty cool.
It is an interesting thing in a high school setting though. There's a few teenage girls that train at our gym regularly.
Hmm.
Came to the gym the other day and she goes, "I think that a CrossFit champion is in my high school class." I think you're right. It was Nate Ackerman.
Oh yeah.
Like, just like this. She's like, "It's so weird. I never thought of him as a CrossFit kid, but now everyone's calling him the CrossFit kid." And that's just,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Who's Nate Ackerman? You know who that is, Dallin?
Yeah, he won the 16-17 division. He beat my athlete by one spot. So
Oh, damn.
yeah,
But you'll show him.
yeah, for sure.
You'll make it to the games before him.
Yeah.
How did you find CrossFit? Why did you start doing it?
So like I said, I was playing baseball, football, basketball, basically any sport. And my dad started at a gym with my uncle. It was like 30 minutes away, and so basically too far to make sure that kids could. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure the kids like could get ready for school and all that. So my mom couldn't go. I got some gym equipment for the garage, and they're like, "Hey, you should start working out. It'll make you stronger for all these other sports." And I was like, "No, that sounds pretty stupid. I'm not going to work out for fun. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, going to practice and all that." And then I saw the 2015 CrossFit Games, and I saw that was the first year they had a teenage division, and watched Angelo and Nick Palladino and all those guys. And I immediately said I want to do that. And the day after the games ended, I started training.
Oh, why were you watching the CrossFit Games in 2015? Did your dad have it on TV or something?
Yeah, so my dad had gotten into CrossFit and he watched the Froning film and he's like, hey, you should watch this. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And then he just had the games on one day. I think that year was ESPN. I could be wrong. But then he's like, you got to watch this. There's this teenage division. They're all just a little bit older than you. And then I just fell in love with the idea of competing and like watching the Froning documentary and how, like, I mean, the celebrations and like how hard it is to become the greatest. I just love that idea.
How much do you think it had to do with the fact that you saw something that your dad liked and you wanted to do something to make your dad happy? You're like, okay, these people are doing this and my dad likes it, so if I do this, my dad will like me more. Not in a bad, not in a bad
Yeah,
way,
no,
by the
no,
way. I'm
no.
not saying that like in a natural way. I'm not saying like you're
Yeah,
starved for your dad to unlock you and take you out of the basement.
no, yeah, no. I think with like other sports, because that's what my dad did growing up. I found more of that probably when I was younger. I was like, oh, my dad really likes this. Like my dad coached me through baseball, basically my whole childhood. He was a big football player too, so like all of that stuff played into it. But then, more like spending time with him and out in the garage that like I wanted to do. So
And then and was it just a trajectory straight up from there? Like you're like, holy shit, this is dope, and you just haven't looked back. How old are you now? You're 19.
yeah,
So it's been just 4 years of CrossFit.
well, it's about 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but when I
Math is better
first
than mine.
when I first started, it was like random workouts. I didn't know anything about programming or anything. I could see something on Instagram or I'd make up my own, and I probably didn't even do all the reps every time. And then I played football that fall, and then I actually started at a gym January 2016. So that was when I really got into it. So
And by gym, you mean a local affiliate.
yep,
And what was the name of that gym?
Spanish Fort CrossFit.
And you're
And
still
what
there?
city?
I'm at that gym and Nebo CrossFit, and they're like 3 minutes apart. So
And what city, state is that?
Spanish Fork, Utah. And Nevo's in Salem, Utah. So
And you're Mormon,
I am.
and you're married.
Sure am.
Damn, you're checking all the boxes. Utah,
Man.
married, Mormon.
Yes.
Dude, do you know how much easy you're gonna make it on Heber and Mars if you start really doing good at the games? Because I think they might live in Utah also.
Yeah, they're like an hour away.
Yeah, imagine if you could just win the games, knock Medeiros out, and just become the new guy. They could just think of how much more time they could spend with their family and their kids only driving down an hour.
Yeah, just come down. Except I'm moving.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm moving to Florida.
For training?
Yep. So I don't know. You talked to Phil Toon, right?
I did speak to him. I really enjoyed
So-
speaking to him too.
My coach, Matt Torres, lives down in Naples. And me, Emma Carey, Phil Toon,
Oh.
Paul Grishaber, James Sprague, and one of my buddies, Ethan Tate, we're all moving down there.
Wow.
Emma's gonna be outnumbered.
Yeah, but she's pumped for it. She doesn't want. She's like, my coach asked her, like, do you think we should get like another like older veteran female to come down? And she's like, this might be a dumb question, but like, why? She has like no desire to train with any of her competitors at all. And I kind of feel similar, but with the atmosphere and relationship I have with these guys, it's very different. So I'm not too worried about it.
I think I just started filming Matt Torres. Filming. Did I say filming? Following. That's your coach?
Yep.
Yes.
He's with Brute
I
Strength.
did.
He's been, I would consider him like a branch of Brute's Pro Strengths for a while now.
How old's your dad, Dallin?
Oh man.
Is his name Joe, by the way?
Yeah, is he on there? Is he commenting already? He's downstairs.
Oh,
Yes,
Joe
Joe.
Pepper. Yeah, I just looked up and saw it.
No, yeah,
James-
he's like,
Joe Pepper.
James has weighed in already as well.
ah, there we go. Yeah, I think my dad's like 44. I could be wrong, and he'll let you know in 2 seconds on the call.
That's crazy that your dad's younger than me. That's bizarre. He must have been absent the day they taught about contraception. Camila Jaskalska, great black and white profile picture. She gave us 25 PLN. I'm sure that's probably some electronic currency. Oh, she really liked that my kids went to a jiu-jitsu tournament. That's cool. And then some guy named Sergino, gave us 10 British pounds. Another great guest. I'm assuming he means you, Dallin.
You're
From the
Brian.
guy about, and then I don't understand the rest of it. From the guy about burnout.
Actually, it's a decent question for Dallin here. This guy, he's curious in general about whether athletes when they're really young, like maybe 10 to 14, 15 years old, are more likely to burn out by reach the early 20s than someone who might have a more of a background in sports and start training CrossFit more specifically a little bit later on.
I think it depends on how you approach it and like your mentality as a teenager and a young kid. It's definitely different than most kids my age. But short answer, no, I think you can do it, but keep playing other sports and you can still train hard in CrossFit. I ended up playing baseball and football. Played baseball my junior year of high school and football my senior year just to I just wanted something a little different and that was like my one chance to do it, so I just jumped on it. But I think kids can definitely train CrossFit hard, but continue to play other sports.
What is burnout?
It's a great question.
I mean, he is, and I don't know all of the specifics, but some of the guys like Nick Palladino, who just didn't want to invest everything in training anymore and wanted to have a little bit more balance in his life. And I don't know what George Sterner is doing now, but that was another guy that he brought up who was obviously very good. Didn't compete last year. Maybe he will this year. I don't know. Just people who want to pursue other things in addition to or instead of they like age out or move out of their house.
Yeah, so one thing, I thought about this a lot. One thing I see is obviously the females are making a much faster transition into the individual division. And we have seen a couple male athletes that were great as teenagers, and even George had a couple of years with the individuals. It's taking longer, and you see some of them just kind of falling off and just ditching the sport. I think one thing is like the stress of like financials. Like you can't have another job if you want to make it to the CrossFit Games, and if you want to win the CrossFit Games especially. And I'm sure that was all of their goal at one point. And luckily, like I signed with Cooper. He's Daniel, Brandon, Josh, their agent. And he's put me in a spot where I can continue to compete without that stress of financials, any of that type of stuff. And I think that would have something to do with some of those guys.
You're 19.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like an adult?
Yeah, I've always felt like an adult since I was like 14.
Wow. How did that happen? Like, why did you feel like an adult at 14?
Well, not like feel like an adult in a bad way or anything, but the way I viewed life and stuff. My dad always calls me an old soul. When we'd go to big family parties, like I'd hang out with my cousins some, but I just wanted to hang out with my dad really. I don't know. I've just always been that way.
Yeah, that's a trip. I was thinking about that today. Like, what do I do that I guess until I didn't feel like really like an adult until like maybe I was in my 40s. Definitely when I had a kid, I was like, oh shit, I better pay these bills on time. And like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just faking it, and I think that's how everyone is. But
yeah, of course. But I'm just impressed. Like, you're married, you are moving out to a training camp. I assume your wife's going with you to Florida?
Yep.
Is that like do you guys talk about that? How does that come up in conversation?
Yeah, no, she's awesome. She actually has basically changed all of her life plans with school and everything to make this happen. So she got into a really competitive radiology program right when we were talking about going to Florida, like when my coach called me about it, and she said no to that and changed her whole degree, and now she's actually nutrition certified and doing nutrition coaching for all of my athletes and clients that I coach through Pepper programs. So,
dang. And how old is she?
she's 20.
Oh, okay. So, wow. I'm just so impressed. And her parents don't hate you for changing her course and direction and what she was doing? They're like, oh, geez, this guy's trouble.
I think her like at first, like, because their family, like her sister's in nursing school right now, and so like that was kind of the road she was planning on, and that's what she loved. But she's way more excited about this, and her family definitely was like, "Why would you say no? You got into this super competitive program, and like, if we want to go to Florida, we should definitely go now, like, while we can, for sure."
Um, I'm guessing that there's a lot more money in radiology, but in nutrition, there's a lot more actual benefit that you're actually helping people.
Yeah,
Radiology, I mean, man, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but you're really just part of the problem. You're just part of the escort team escorting people to the grave for the most part.
yeah.
I know 5% of the people who use the hospital really need it, like they got a broken bone or something.
Hmm.
But the other 95%, they needed a nutritionist and they didn't have one, and now they need a radiologist.
And for the most part, she would be working with broken bones, but she always said like her whole goal in life is just to help people, and
Yeah.
what better way to do that than through helping people eat better?
When did you realize you were strong? So you start CrossFit at like 13, 14. When do you realize that you're like, oh shit, I'm actually pretty good at this?
Um, it kind of happened slowly, I think. There wasn't ever really a time. My first open was 2016. I'd seriously done CrossFit for 3-ish months, and I took 112th or something in the open. And I was 14, and I was like, okay, if I continue on this trajectory, I should be able to make it. If I just give everything. So I just trained as hard as I could every single day. And then when I took 5th in the open the next year, that's when I realized, like, oh, you have a shot to win the games for sure. And that's kind of the process that it took. So.
Some guy just said Joe sounds like a good dude. Stuntman Mike, thanks for the $5, but Joe's his dad. We have no idea if he's a good dude. The guest is Dallin Pepper, and we know he's a good dude. But if you guys want to give money because he's got a good dad, I mean, that's cool too. What's your mom's name?
Her name's Jana.
Jana and Joe Pepper. And do you have siblings?
I do have 4 younger siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're blazing the trail. And what are they boys, girls?
It's 2 boys and then 2 girls at the end.
No
Any
twins?
No twins.
Beat you to it.
Your mom had 5 kids.
Sure did. She's a trooper.
Dude, that's hardcore.
Do you have any older cousins, or are you like the oldest of the?
On my mom's side, I have 2 older cousins. They're like 4 and 6 years older than me or something. And then
Oh, wow.
on my dad's side, 2 older, and then there's like 4 boys my age. And it's cool because it's like 4 boys my age, and then 4 boys my brother's age, 4 more boys my other brother's age, and they're all within a year, all of us.
Oh wow. So you guys
Like
have
the kids our age, yeah.
fun family get-togethers, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you started CrossFit, did you have like armpit hair? Had you started going through puberty?
I think so. I think I had some armpit hair.
I'd be curious. I mean, what a cool thing to be doing as you go through puberty, as your hormones kick up.
Well, people were like, "How are you so big?" It's like, well, I've been going through puberty and spending 6 hours a day in the gym and eating as much as I can.
Yeah.
So,
And do you feel are you a slow mature or a fast mature? Do you think you have a lot of years left of maturing, or do you feel like you're pretty far through puberty, or like? Because for me, it felt like it didn't stop till I was in my 20s. I felt like it started when I was 15 and didn't stop till I was in my 20s.
yeah, I mean, I grew faster than a lot of kids. Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to get any taller or anything, but I definitely will still grow into my body. And like, people have like old man strength, and they're not even old. They're like 25, and like with the squat and a deadlift, like all those guys can lift way more than me in those lists, and I think that's just a matter of time. So,
Can you grow hair on your face? Do you shave?
yeah, I do.
But
it's
not
still,
very-
It's
but-
still patchy. Like, it gets long, but there's little patches.
Not very often.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at Medeiros. When's the last time you had a pimple? Do you have any pimples? Did you get
Oh, yeah.
pimples?
Yeah, I still have them.
You still get pimples? Yeah, man. Holy shit. 19. Can you remember what it's like to be 19, Brian?
I can. Yep.
And did you have good eating habits and sleeping habits and training habits?
2 years prior to that, no, but by the time I was 19, I did. Yeah. Straight and narrow at that time, playing collegiate soccer, and I was just trying to, I wasn't anything great, but I was trying to be as well conditioned as I could to perform well in that sport.
Did you ever swerve off the path, Dallin? Like, have you been to rehab, or have you ever been to jail, or
No,
no?
I'm like straight as bored basically. I'm pretty boring.
Have you never thrown an egg at like onto a highway, like a highway full of cars
Oh,
driving by or something?
when I was like with my baseball team, we'd throw water balloons and stuff at cars for sure.
Ah, water balloons.
Yeah. One kid grabbed like a dog toy and he threw it way too hard and it made a very loud noise and we ran as fast as we could.
Ah, the old running. Joe, did you know this, that you had a son who was a delinquent? Okay, so how tall did you say you were?
I'm 6 foot.
Do you have any? And how much do you weigh?
I'm about 220 right now. I competed at like 215.
And when did you start? Did you ever eat poorly? Do you still eat poorly? Like a lot of these guys, like it's a little harsh to say that they eat poorly, but especially the younger athletes, you know, Rich, Matt, specifically, you know, they could, in their younger days, they could eat more of what they want, and as they get older, they would say that, and then as they get older, you see, okay, they're tightening down their diet. And I'm just wondering if the new generation is like seeing what they're doing, the older guys are doing, and starting to tighten down their diet a little ahead of time.
I mean, I eat pretty clean, but for the most part, it's like calories in. Around training, I'll eat fruit snacks, applesauce, Powerade, and I know you hate their refined sugars or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I eat pretty clean in season.
And basically, and how many times a day are you working out?
I usually have 2 sessions.
Okay. And are you just sweaty all the time?
Yeah, it's gross.
It's pretty cool, actually. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. It actually gets better. As you get older, it's good. It makes you realize you're alive. I didn't like sweating when I was 19 either.
Oh, I mean,
But now
I
it's-
don't mind it, but it's like puddles. Like, I know Rich talks about how much he sweats, but I think I could give him a run for his money.
So, like, if you're on the rower and you were to row 10,000 calories, is there like just a serious
10,000
like?
calories.
Sorry,
Holy
sorry.
shit.
Thank you, Brian, for listening. And you rode 10,000 meters. Would there be like enough water under there, like a small fish could swim in it? Because
Absolutely.
that's how it is for Rich too. It's crazy.
You know, the next
They
time
did-
we talk, say he did 10,000 calories.
Oh, Colton. My mom was so excited that we had him on again. Okay, let's I want to dig into this year, Dallin, and talk about what happened. Are you devastated? Are you okay with it? Tell me about the process. Walk us through, and don't try to hide anything because Brian's here, and like he'll call you on it. So let's start with the Open. So you entered the Open. How do you do? And tell me about this journey if you don't mind.
The Open.
And if you are gonna cry, Brian can tell the story. So just go. You go, Brian. You go.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, so like about a year ago, I decided I was going to qualify for the CrossFit Games this year. That was my mindset going into things. The Open went pretty well. It was by far my best finish. I did bomb one workout, well, 2 workouts, the last one, but it wasn't a big deal because I wasn't focused on it. Just did every workout once. I finished right around 100, I think, and that was my goal going into it. So I was pretty happy with that.
One,
So 2000.
finished one place ahead of Travis Mayer.
Oh, perfect. Exactly.
Oh,
what
I
wanted.
hate you, Dallin. I hate you. So and at least we got Travis's name in the show. So 2021 Open, were you 18 or 19 at the time?
19.
You're 19 years old, and you finish 100th place
90.
in the world, 95th in the Worldwide CrossFit Open, beating the legend Travis Mayer. Okay,
Yep.
good start. It's a good start.
Yeah, then, I mean, we started quarterfinals. Kind of wanted to make a statement there so I could get into the final heat of whatever semifinal. Attacked that. They were great workouts, really good for me. Especially proud of like a handstand push-up workout. I did pretty well on that one. I need to get stronger front squatting, obviously. It's pretty crazy. I hit like right under my 1 rep max for 4 reps, and I still got like 580th or something.
481.
Yeah, 481.
This is not
Yeah.
uncommon. Like his total number of points in the quarterfinals was 590, and 481 of them came from the 4 rep max front squat, which is why I've always said that 4 rep max front squat I'd rather see a test like that at the next level when there's a smaller competition field. Bigger field of thousands of competitors, it's just, yeah, you might not be as good at that as other things, but you're punished really, really severely for it. Obviously, he still did well enough to advance, but just in general, these things.
What did you lift for your 4-rep front squat?
Is it like 357 or 52?
352.
Okay. So, and then how did you do in the quarterfinals?
I think I got like 32nd or something. Or
31st,
somewhere
2
around
spots ahead of Phil Toon, 4 spots ahead of Jason Hopper, and well behind Travis Mayer, who was first overall.
Good job, Travis. That away. Teach Dallin for coming at you. Okay, so that's good. You did good. And how did you do in the quarterfinals, Brian?
I was the last place in North America men who participated.
And what place was that?
Actually, I don't know. Let's find out. This is fun. I was striving to try to failed. I failed to hit any snatches at 185. It's 4,032nd place.
And he took 32nd, and Dallin took 32nd.
31st or 32nd, yeah.
So he
Yep.
beat you only by 4,000 places. That's pretty good. Mike Baglio. If Dallin made the games this year, I think he finishes top 10. There were some events that would have been great for him. True or false, Brian?
Top 10?
Yeah.
Noah Olson was 10th. I think Dallin could have made the cuts in this field.
Stuntman Mike.
It's hard. It's hard to say. There's so many
Yeah,
things that could happen
I wasn't
on.
there. I need to prove it.
But
Don't let him off the hook, Dallin. Don't let Brian off the hook. The pressure's good for him. To clarify my comment, Sevan, I also have a son, and if a boy likes hanging out with his dad must be doing something right with his son. Father's involvement in son's life is paramount. Yeah, Joe's probably screwing it up though by coming in the comments. Dallin probably loved hanging out with him until this video. Now
He
Joe's
told me.
now Joe's in the doghouse. Okay, so are you happy with your placement in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I was stoked with it. It was really good. Exactly what I was hoping for. Got me into the final heat. Yeah.
And were you kind of like, yeah, I beat Hopper. Fuck that dude.
Well, no one knew who he was.
Oh, right. Okay, good point. See that, Jason? No one knew who you were till we made you famous. Okay, so then you go to.
no, I did know who he was.
Okay.
Brian did.
I hear there's some crazy sounds in the back. Is your does someone have a fan on or?
I'm gonna mute mine. Tell me if it changes it.
No, it's I think it's down. You have a fan and Dallin has a like it sounds like the Star Trek Enterprise is trying to beam him up. Like they've locked onto his. It's okay. It's okay. People have gotten used to it on this show. So from there, so then you do the semifinals.
Mhm.
And let's talk about that as I pull up your semifinals. Where did you go? Where did you do your semifinals?
It was a West Coast.
That was a live one?
Yep.
Was that your first choice?
Yeah.
Close to home.
We could
Easy
drive
trip.
there. It's like
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
Man, especially this year. If you could drive, I would take that option every time.
And had you done how many live competitions had you done before this one?
I competed at the Games 3 times, Swadapalooza twice, and Granite Games once, and then
Okay.
some other little ones. But
So this was your nerves were just normal nerves. It wasn't like holy shit, this is the first time I'm
Well,
doing this.
Dallin, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Were all of those as a teenager, like in the teenage
Yes.
division? So this live competition against the elite field,
yeah, I mean the nerves were obviously there. If you're not a nervous wreck, then you don't care enough. But it wasn't because I was in a live competition. I love being on that floor, and honestly, one of my strengths is being on a floor and like floor awareness, knowing where my competitors are, knowing myself. I feel very confident in my abilities to do that.
And you made quite a statement on the first 3 workouts, a second, a 16th, and a 4th.
You're missing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, holy cow. Yeah. And were the first 2 workouts on the first day, and that was it, second and second?
Yeah,
So you, after day 1, you were in first place.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember Brian and I talking about that. And in your field above you, that means you were beating Cole Sager, Noah Olson, Sean Sweeney, Will Morad. I mean, you had some Spencer Panchik. I mean, you had some. Oh man, the Panchik brothers must hate you. You had some heavy hitters. Were you surprised that you did so well, or were you like, nope, this is me. This is what I'm gonna do?
With the snatch ladder was the first event. I knew I would be second. I wasn't gonna even try and chase Tola. That would be stupid. But I knew I was better at snatching than everyone else there, so that one was good. I did surprise myself on the second workout with the thruster leg was ripped down.
Okay, can you tell me why? Because I
heard you talk about it. Yeah.
yeah. So just tell us what that was like for you.
So like all season, just everyone deals with like just mental battles in their head, and like one of mine this year was, oh, you're too tall, all this stuff, and it's a bunch of garbage. But to have, I mean, I'm just gonna say Noah's name because that's the first one that comes to my head. But to beat Noah, who's shorter and a shorter guy workout with. I knew like I belonged out there, and that kind of.
He turned into a robot. Did you get that,
I did.
Brian?
You guys there?
What? So you had that in your head that you were too tall? You were like, shit, I'm too tall. Or you had it in your head like, fuck it, I'm gonna prove it on this one that I'm not too tall, and you guys can all eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know the kind Mormon side of you doesn't talk like that. Sorry that was the Armenian paraphrase version.
No, like it didn't really affect me because I just like blocked it out and I was like, that doesn't matter. The best is going to be the best no matter what their size. But that was where I could prove it for sure.
This I have this thing next to my computer, and it's supposed to allow me to make phone calls.
Hey,
Oh, it's weird.
are you on the podcast right now?
I'm trying to call Matt Souza. Can you guys hear him?
Yes,
Oh, you guys can? Because I can't hear him.
we can hear.
Oh. Ask him when we're going to get Laura Horvath on. Matt Souza's the producer of the show. What's he saying? Will you ask him that? I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him on YouTube? I just saw that he popped up in the comments, and it's like, Jesus, dude, get Laura Horvath on already. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, am I on the podcast right now?
Yeah, you're. Yes. It's really. There, Sevan.
I just called him real quick. Souza, are we getting Laura Horvath on or what?
Yeah, I messaged her twice, and somebody reached out to Brian. And
So you messaged her twice, and she reaches out to
twice.
Brian?
No.
somebody that knew her reached out to Brian.
Oh, Matt, that's her brother. I was just talking to her brother.
I got again, and I still haven't heard nothing back.
All right. Either way, let's get this fixed. Come on, buddy. Stop listening to the show. I know it's great. And get Laura Horvath on. Thank you. Bye. Okay, well, that was fun. Sorry to interrupt, Dallin. I just saw the guy pop up in the comments. He needs to be slapped around a little bit. He's enjoying the show. So at that point, is it creeping in like you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna win. I'm going to the games. Holy shit, this is gonna happen.
No, I knew obviously I knew the run wouldn't be as I was expecting to do a little bit better. We can talk about that. And then I knew the handstand push-up workout would be a bit of a struggle. So I knew like nothing had changed. It was only 2 events and we had 5 more. So.
Is your dad at that event? Are your mom and dad there?
I had like 50 people there.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was cool.
And what's your wife's name?
Corinne.
Corinne. And so she's there.
Yep.
And does she know how to handle you like to a T?
We definitely learned some things. Like she knows how to handle me at home and training, but like in competition, I basically do not talk at all. So that was a bit of a learning for her because I was like the first competition where she was in charge of anything because before it was my mom was always taking care of my food and all of that. But she took care of all the food and just hanging out, just being quiet. She definitely learned from that, and we both did. But it didn't affect competition in any way. No.
So basically, and I guess Corinne's not in a unique place. It's a lot of people. She basically has to learn that nothing at the competition is personal.
Yeah.
At that point, it has nothing to do with her, nothing to do with your mom, whether you're talking to her or not talking to her. It's nothing she did. Like, you're just doing you.
Yeah, and she's got that figured out. Like that was just like day one, basically, and then she figured it out. So
Crazy that someone could figure that out at 20. I think most men and women who would be in relationships would not be able to figure that out. They would screw it all up. So you're lucky. Were you concerned at all that she might screw it up?
no, I'm out there doing my thing. She knows like her roles while I'm competing, and she does an amazing job at it.
You met her in high school?
Yeah, we all had like the same friend group, hung out all the time, and then I took her to her senior prom, and then we just started dating after that.
And so how long did you know her before you got married?
Oh, like 3 years.
Wow, that's so impressive. Brian, are you married?
Nope.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Her senior prom was not the same as yours, Dallin?
Sorry, I got confused on who we were talking to. Dallin, back to you.
No, she is a year older than me. So
And then for
He asked you. Go ahead.
going to regionals instead?
well, no, we had COVID.
Oh, that was your
Oh,
senior
I-
year?
Yeah,
Oh, that's terrible.
I wasn't complaining too much. I was ready.
It allowed you to
train.
just focus on your training. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably was like,
nothing
great for you.
changed a whole lot. I never was at school much my senior year anyway.
So you get to this third workout, and it's what was that? Oh, the ruck run.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. 36 minutes of working out. My God, that's a lot.
For like a 10th place, that's what I wanted to keep all my events at. And I went out a little too hot because I'd been working really hard on my running. I was like, all right, I want to stay with this first group, and I was done. So I learned from that.
And how heavy was the ruck?
It was 30, 40, 50, 60, I believe, or 20, 40, 50, 60.
It was like every 1,500 meters it went up.
Yeah.
yeah, you had the
And,
ruck. The ruck was
Def-
on the entire time,
okay, yeah.
but you had to add weight in the term of an external load of a sandbag each on rounds 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
And how was your headspace after that one?
That's fine.
I think that if
Kill.
anything, the good thing was that you didn't have like the guys ahead of you were like,
So Jake Burn passed me like going out for the fourth lap, and I could tell from his like cadence and his breathing and everything, like, all right, he's an extra kid. So Tudor was actually behind, and we between each of us. I just made sure to stick between them. I didn't have to do that because I knew I wasn't going to catch Jake, and I just didn't want Tudor to catch me, so tried to save.
yeah, because like with the way that that event ended for James Sprague, that's
Poor
the way
guy.
you don't want that event to end, which is like you're sprinting to the finish and you lose, like the double negative. And a long event like that, if you can just kind of and accept your placement at that point and not have to stress that last extra couple hundred yards, I think that's always in the middle of competition. That's a big advantage. If you have to sell out and don't get the extra points.
Yeah, and if I was in a group of 3, like 1,000%, I'd sprint to the finish and beat both the 2 other guys I was with or whatever. I just happened to be in a position where I didn't have to. So.
And then even if you were disappointed in that finish, you bounced back strong in the Triple G chipper with the 4th place.
Yeah,
So
I
then
knew
you got
that
your
one would be good. So
And oh man. And then the next 2 events, you took a 19th and a 17th. At that point,
You skipped one again. Or did we talk
I
about
did.
the fourth place one?
Yeah, we can talk about it more. I just wanted to get to the bad news and hear what his dad
Yeah.
told him.
Oh,
Hear what Joe Pepper said.
No, yeah, I mean, so the fourth one went well. The fifth event was actually the event I wanted to win. That was gonna be my best finish all weekend. I did it with Echo Bike and sandbag. It was actually like a 165 sandbag, and I beat Fraser's time from whatever year that was. And I would have had the top time at West Coast. And like, I just didn't know how to use a D-ball, and that's what we used, and that's on me.
And we're talking about the Triple G Chipper 17.
No,
he fast forwarded through that one. He said that one, and then he got to the regional finale 2017, which was basically a bike, some burpee box jump overs, and then a D-ball cleans to the finish. We also would be. I don't know if he'd win the workout, but I figured he'd have a. It looked like a great workout for him.
Wait, Dallin, you said you beat Matt Fraser's time in that?
yeah, it was like it's like low, high twos, like 250 or something. And that's about what I got when I did it at home, which is obviously different, but yeah.
I'm so confused. What workout are we looking at?
In
What's the name of it?
2017, the regional final, he was looking at Matt's time from 2017, and when he practiced that workout in training, his time was faster than Matt's 2017 time. And so he knew he had a chance to win this workout at the West Coast Classic. And my understanding is the bike went fine, the burpee box jump overs went fine, and the D-ball just kind of stopped him in his tracks in a way that he.
Even though it was the same weight, the shape of it is what screwed you up. Thank you, Brian, by the way.
Yeah, it's like with a sandbag, you can like get your hands in it and it'll like form to your hands. With a D-ball, it's just like a slick rubber ball. And I also on my 9th rep, I sweat a lot, and I did wear a shirt, which I never do, because I sweat a lot, and it actually slipped off my shoulder. I got a no rep, and it cost me 6 seconds and basically my ticket to the games.
Oh my goodness. Is it really that close?
'Cause I'm pretty sure 6 seconds was like 4 or 5 spots.
I'm looking. Dallin Pepper 319, 6 seconds more. Yep. It would have been at least 2 spots. Man,
Maybe.
do you think everyone does that? Dallin and Brian, do you think everyone, like, when the event's over, is just like, oh my god, if I just would have done this, I'd be going?
I'm sure people like think back on it, and obviously it's a culmination of the whole weekend. So you can't just pick out that one thing. Like I could have ran faster, like could have trained running more and ran faster. But yeah, I think everyone does some thinking and reflecting.
Like,
I think-
Vellner looks at event 1 at the CrossFit Games and is like, holy shit, if I would have taken 6 instead of 36, I'd be CrossFit
No.
Games champion. No, he
No.
doesn't do that?
He's not looking at that event. He's looking at events 6, 7, and 8. And he's been forthright about that as much. But yeah, everyone looks back at the weekend and they say, man, this event, this movement, this rep, made this big of a difference. And I can't remember who I was listening to. Someone, a games athlete, recently talk about. It's just a lot of times. Like all these guys have the physical. One of them will look back at the weekend and be like, if only I'd executed that a little bit better there, that a little bit better there. And that's that gamesmanship and that live competition that's why I don't like the online competitions as much. And I don't like the competitions where you can repeat workouts as much. Part of the sport is the ability to show up when it's your turn and perform under pressure. And I mean, every workout, the expression of that is different. But the guys, like any games athlete or even anyone who's been close to making it to the games, this or a couple moments like this, they can point back to and say, I needed that to understand what it means to execute when.
Dallin, do you think it would have been better for you to go to the games and get the experience, or it's better that you didn't go to the games and you have the fire burning in you? Like,
It's a great question. I would have taken whatever outcome and made the absolute best of it and made sure I was ready for next year. So.
do you think about that? Like mornings, maybe when you don't want to go to bed, or when you're on the bike and there's 3 seconds left and you're pushing extra hard, like.
Oh yeah, like if I
Do
didn't,
you leverage that?
I was not okay for like until the games were over. Honestly, like when everyone had a clean slate, I was not okay. I like kind of Matt, like he described it after his like second place. He's like, I do not want to work out. I don't want to talk to anybody. Basically, just sat in my apartment and just like thought about it for 6 weeks. So.
Did you get? But you did punch the ticket for the last chance qualifier, right?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I thought it was gonna go better than it did, honestly. Like I did great on one workout. I was a little disappointed to see a deadlift, knowing that's not my strength. Like if it was something overhead, that would have been great. But I need to get better at deadlifting. And then the last two workouts, honestly, my coach and I both thought like some top 5 scores, and then I was like 11th and 14th or something, and so that was pretty wild. Like props to everyone, like they smashed those workouts. So.
Oh man.
What? Say it. I'm looking. Oh, you took 11th in that.
Yeah, like it did not go great.
I mean, you're with some good people down there. James Newberry, Spencer Panchik.
These, I mean, there were a lot of good, chance qualifying. It wasn't an easy competition.
No.
We're just. We should never. This should be the last time we review the semifinals or the last chance qualifier, because this just stirs the bottom of Brian's muddy pond up, where there's 8 guys out there who would have done better at the games than the bottom 8 guys, and he sees those names and he's getting all. We're getting him all wound up, I think. Am I right, Brian?
No, but I'm working on something with regards to that to try to explain why I feel that way.
To make it so even more people hate us over at the CrossFit Games. Beautiful, thank you. No one hates us over there. I'm just joking. Okay, so the last chance qualifier goes, and basically you say until the games are over. And I like the way you explained that. I'd never heard it explained like that. Basically, you felt like the competition was still going, but you had been benched. And the second the games was over, it was like a reset. Okay, you're all at 0 again.
Yeah, it was like this huge relief. I don't know why I was viewing it that way, but yeah, like I wanted. Yeah, it was like.
Well, it makes
hurting.
sense. It makes sense too, because the second Medeiros wins the games, it's over, and you guys are all tied for first and last place again, right? It's just all now. Everyone's going to enter the open, and you guys are all tied again.
Yep.
So the dream just kind of like comes back alive.
Yep.
And did you train during this sort of these doldrums, or did you take a month off?
I took the week off after West Coast. Well, the Monday through Thursday, and then I like started to get back into things Friday, Saturday, and then last chance qualifier workouts were the next Monday, so 2 weeks after West Coast or something. And then like practice some last chance qualifier workouts, did the last chance qualifier, and I basically didn't work out for like 6 weeks. I did some testing and stuff, but
Testing for Dave?
no, sorry, for my coach, like for next season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Craig White says his parents should have named him Sultan. He's probably heard that a lot, but I like that, Sultan Pep. And so, wow, so you really, and did that, I wonder if that just made shit worse, just not working out.
No, I did not want to be going to the gym.
You didn't?
No.
And then the second the games were over, did you watch the games?
I was actually there. Yep. I was coaching an athlete.
Who were you coaching?
David Bradley. He's in the teenage division.
And how did he do?
He took second.
And were you nice to him, or were you an asshole to him, just like taking out all your misplaced aggression on him?
No. I was pretty chill.
Did you resent him at all because he made it and you didn't?
Well, no, I made the teenage division 3 times.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. No, like
And you
my
won-
one goal, like,
It just sounds like a great.
He also won it
abusive
3
story.
times.
yeah. No,
You
the
did
team-
win it 3 times?
Yep, I'm pretty sure I'm the only team. A bunch of them have like 2 wins, but yeah.
That's.
I think that's
crazy.
right. I think you're the only 3-time
Yeah.
champion. Because I think Kayla Stefano had won the last year.
Yep.
Is that gratifying to win the teenage division? Or are you like, holy shit, this is amazing, just stoked?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, yes, it's not the individual division, but that is the top level competition in the world of your age division. Like that's, and then you see Emma and Mal qualify individual, but like we'll ignore that part. But yes, that's the top level competition, and I think I definitely trained different than most teenagers. Like I was just how I viewed everything, like I said earlier. So yes, winning was very gratifying and just made me hungry for more. So.
What do you mean? What's unique about your training?
Well, I was like, my buddy James Sprague, he took like fourth and fifth, so like he did very well in the teenage division. And we were talking last week because we were together, and he's like, the first time I met you, I was like, man, this kid is so different. He actually cares when he goes to bed. He knows what he's eating, when he's eating, around his training, how he does workouts. And that was like his first impression of me when we hung out the first time.
So more of that adult stuff.
Yeah.
Already showing symptoms of being an adult. Yeah, because most kids your age are probably training so that they look nice, so that they can attract mates.
Yeah.
When
And
you're
they're not- and
coaching,
they're not doing it for health reasons.
when you're coaching David, like, is that something that you talk to him about, or do you, as a teenager, it's maybe, if he doesn't want to do those things, maybe how to manage his life how he wants, and you focus on the training side?
Yeah, I think the teenagers are definitely taking it more serious. Like David definitely put in the time with nutrition, sleep. He's trained his butt off. Like he worked extremely hard and did everything right, like recovery. But I kind of let that happen naturally. Like if he had a question, I'd answer it and give him as much detail as I could. But I wasn't like ever like forcing it, or like in the notes of a workout, be like, hey, make sure you get food in right after this piece, or make sure you sleep good. Just little things like that.
Do you have to force yourself to stay down? Like if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, let's say I look at my clock and it's only been 5 hours, I have to like force myself to stay down, because as soon as I wake up, I just want to get up. And I would figure at 19 years old, as soon as you get up, you're like, oh, life. And you just want to like jump out of bed and start living.
Yeah. Like in season, I forced myself to be in bed for 10 hours every night.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Brian, did you stay in bed for 10 hours?
Sometimes, I can, even if you're not sleeping, you're just dark room.
I usually could get back to sleep. Like I have a pretty good sleeping setup with blackout curtains. So like my body still thought it was the middle of the night, and I could almost always get back to sleep. If I really couldn't get back to sleep, I'd just get back up. But I just wake up. But
Do you nap?
well, not when I get 10 hours of sleep. I don't need it.
Yeah. And that was just you passed that test. If you nap, then you know you're really an adult. Like I nap. That like actually you're past being an adult. I think I just skipped and went to old. But I can't, if I'm in bed for more than like 8 hours, I start to get bed sores. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, it gets annoying. Like I didn't enjoy it at all, but I know I needed it.
Yeah, that's good. You and your wife, do you guys live at with your parents, or do you guys have it your own place?
So we had an apartment. There's a guy at our gym who has like a little condo, and he was out. He owns like a summer sales business, and I think he was in Chicago, which is, you live there, right, Brian?
I do.
Yeah. So he was out there for the past 3 months, and we lived in his apartment. He rented it out to us. And then, long story short, we were going to move into my grandparents' basement because they have a whole apartment. But then we decided we're moving to Florida, so we're just living with her mom for a few months before we go, because she has a big upstairs that we have to ourselves.
Oh, and do you like that? Do you like living there?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Is that like in my culture, like in the Armenian culture, like I could move out of my house right now and move my whole family in with my mom or my dad if I wanted
Yeah.
to. Like, do Mormons, you can do that too? You can just,
I mean, no issue. Yeah.
no issue. Just
Especially,
family.
Like, in my family, like, there wouldn't be a problem with that. Like, when we decided we weren't going to go to my grandparents, my parents offered a room, but just happens to be that my mother-in-law has plenty of space and my family does not. So,
Yeah, I love that shit. Family's great.
Because all the rest of your siblings are still at home, right?
yeah, all of them are downstairs.
Oh.
I'm at my parents' house right now, so they're all downstairs. But
And then when you guys move into, when you guys go to Florida, will that be the first time you guys live alone together?
well, we had an apartment for 3 months. Like
The
we
Chicago
were
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were alone, but it was like 10 minutes from our family. So
And will you guys drive to Florida? You'll take your car?
yeah, we'll take her car. We're gonna sell mine because it's a piece of trash. And then we'll drive a U-Haul out because we're gonna take. Our coach rented out was going to rent out a full new facility we're all just bringing a ton of equipment down. So
Do you have any pets?
no.
Oh, are you guys gonna get a pet?
My wife loves dogs, and I do too, but we're gonna give it some time.
I'm just everything you say. I'm judging you severely. By the way.
Oh yeah, I know.
These
I'm
aren't
choosing my-
benign. These
choosing
aren't
my words
benign
wisely.
questions. Oh, good. Because part of me is like, yeah, you should get a dog. It's like practicing having a kid, and the other side is like, do not get a dog. Just enjoy your time with
we
your
aren't having
chick.
kids for a very long time, so
Yeah, then don't get
we'll
a
wait,
dog.
wait a bit to get a dog, and then wait even longer for kids.
Yeah, both of them are overrated if you do them too young. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend kids. Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I wonder if do you. Oh man, your parents must be so excited for you to have grandkids too. Do you think you'll have a lot of kids? You think you'll have 4 or 5 kids like your parents?
Well, like the little bit we've talked about it, it's like 3. I
You'll
mean,
have, you'll
I
have 3
don't
sets
know,
of
yeah.
twins for
3
6.
sets of twins. Could you imagine?
I would love it if I would love to get my wife pregnant again and she had triplets. I hope she doesn't make it this far in the podcast.
Dallin,
Go ahead, Brian.
you compete at the games as a teenager. Is there a camaraderie there that exists, or is it mostly like a competitive atmosphere?
The female teenage athletes do not talk to each other, and I've kind of heard the same about the individual, like just RBF, like don't talk to each other. The dudes, like, we have a lot of fun, but also like I play head games with people, and like it's definitely competitive, but we have a good time.
What's RBF?
Resting bitch face.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
After you competed there was this guy, Amir,
Amir Fahmy. Yeah.
and whatever happened to that guy? Do you know?
Honestly,
He was
I have
he was
no
the
idea.
he was the only guy all 3 years you won came to really threatening you in the teenage division,
Yeah.
and I was curious why he never came back.
Like one day, like we all had like a big group message on Instagram, and like one day his account just like disappeared, and then 2 years later it was there, and I messaged him for a second, and he like got into like kickboxing or something,
Oh, that's cool.
and he trained with Jamie Green, I think, and he only trained like a month before second at the games.
Wow.
So,
Man, just an athletic kid.
yeah.
Where was he from? Was he from Dubai?
Mhm.
Okay. And she's not in Dubai anymore, is she?
They're in the UK now.
So tell me about this whole Florida thing. So you're going down there. Matt Torres is your coach. Your agent is the Cooper guy. That's the Danielle Brandon guy. And the Josh Bridges guy. And it's a brand new training camp. Like this camp has never existed before.
We've all trained together. Like we went down there last December and trained together, but no one with Brute has really like moved with their coach at all.
So explain the Brute thing to me again. Brute Strength I thought it's Matt Torres. Matt Torres works for Brute Strength.
Yeah, and then he has like some athletes that technically aren't part of Brute Strength, I think. But there's like Nick Fowler. He actually split from Max El Hodge.
Okay.
They both did OPEX like a long time ago or something.
Ah.
They split because El Hodge was in Salt Lake with Nick Fowler, and then a bunch of people created Brute. I met my coach at his first Brute camp when I went as an athlete for the first time, and then from there we just started working together.
So help me if I'm thinking about this right. So there's like OPEX, there's like the Mayhem Empire, there's Training Think Tank, there's Brute Strength. They're all basically roughly saying a style of training or a training regiment or a nutrition, a lifestyle regiment, and then you belong to this one that's called Brute. And Torres is one of the coaches there.
Yes. Yeah. So Naples, Florida, Brute Strength training. So it'll be like the out and where training similar.
Oh, that's cool. Brian, do you hear all those sounds?
I do.
Coming in and out. You do? Okay. Just checking. Just checking. I hope it's torturing you as bad as it's torturing me.
Dallin, was it a difficult decision to hire an agent? What was the process like to make that decision?
After the 2019 game, I see on my
We have to do
them.
that whole thing again.
Mm-hmm.
side.
Take two, Dallin. Try that again. Dallin, do you think maybe you could, I don't know, throw your computer in a bucket of water? What the fuck is going on with this computer? Oh my god, dude! I promise you, in the room next door to you, someone's in an electric chair getting killed right now. Like we can hear it.
There you go.
Oh man, tell your dad to. Your dad probably is using his like nipple electrocution device in the room next door. Tell him to stop doing that. Wait till the show's over. Show some restraint. For crying out loud. I don't even see Dallin. I don't even see Dallin anymore.
Another room or something. You can throw.
Yeah. Will you get in a bath fill the bathtub up with water and get in it for the next time we do a show with you? Dallin he hasn't used any swear words. He has his shirt on and he has bad audio. It's like, hey dude, if you're gonna have bad audio, you gotta like take your shirt off, use some swear words.
Computer. It's not anyone else. I
It's not good. You're not.
Well, we can hear you now,
Dad. Let's just blame your dad.
He's plugged. I was charging, so maybe it's just getting too hot charging.
Oh yeah, it does sound a little better. Like the fan wound down. Okay, answer that question again. What was the question, Brian? It was a good question. How did you choose your agent? Why did you choose your agent?
How did you make the decision to hire an agent? Like that's always, I think that's a big decision. Like Chris Cooper talks about that, right? You want to do better as a gym, but making the decision to commit to hiring someone with that's a big step. Imagine that it's similar process to make a decision to hire an agent.
And how does Cooper get you enough money so you don't have to work? I know that guy kind of. This podcast is kicking ass, and we haven't made a fucking dime. We can't get a sponsor for the life of us. But these guys don't sponsor us. But I'm gonna plug them anyway. Take my shot. Okay, go ahead. So tell us about Cooper. And you and.
Plug with someone. I'll plug someone. And for the
Are you gonna tell him? Or am I
you have to tell him. That's your job.
Can anybody hear? I love it when the show just takes a colossal shit. A few times, I feel like if this show were an airplane, a few times it has got off the ground. Dallin, we just can't hear you anymore. You're just breaking up. If anyone is still listening, could you tell us in the comments? Can you guys hear Mr. Pepper? Because we have gone black. I can't see him, and it's weird.
Concerned when the video goes away. It's the audio that makes me concerned.
Yeah, we can tolerate not looking at him, but to not hear him, it kind of now the show's taking a dump.
Don't hear.
Nah. I think his whole family is streaming the interview and sucking up all the bandwidth. That is a fucking brilliant. That is a brilliant idea. I love it. Nope, no audio. This show is the funniest shit. Thanks. I don't think that's good. Is that not a compliment from Steve? I don't think.
These people that are listening now are the best.
Sion Dunphy, the best audio in the game. Barbell Club, no. Sevan, bro, you got to get me one of those Froning 11 shirts. Nope. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Steve. I only have 10 of them. The comments are now going off. Dallin, what's up, man? No. No?
This was probably the question I was most excited to hear his answer to.
Me too. I get excited whenever we mention agents. Nick of
Along
Time.
with-
What's funny is
I'll-
Hebner gets better service outside the strip club than any guest that there will ever be on Wi-Fi. Oh man. Dallin, maybe you can go to a different room or something, walk around until your video comes back. Meanwhile, did you know Friday? So my friend is fighting Half Thor. Did you know that, Brian? My friend
Well,
Devin
I'm
Lorette
putting
is-
the pictures together. Yeah, the pieces together. I didn't realize that until this morning.
Yeah, so yesterday I find out that Devin Lorette's fighting Half Thor, so I immediately said, "Hey, get on the podcast. Come on." And he's coming on Friday. We get to talk to him Friday. What kind of nut job? I was like, they're never gonna find anybody to fight Half Thor.
No,
And then next thing I know, it's my buddy Devin. I'm like, is he out of his mind? But Devin is, he's 15 years older than Half Thor, but
How old's Half Thor?
I want to say 34, and probably Devin's like
50?
49, probably 47, 45, 50. Special Forces Canada. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Canadian Special Forces. A big, strong, powerful man. But
Should be fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, especially
hopefully it'll be
after we
better
heard what
than-
BKG had to say about Half Thor.
And maybe he'll have better audio than Down. Down, you got to try to interrupt or something before we got to. Oh, is his video coming back?
There's an image on the screen. Oh,
And he's gone. Woo!
And you know what?
Oh.
If it were the first time, I would be nervous or embarrassed. But of course.
Right. I'm trying to walk around and I switched to a hotspot, but I don't think it's working. That was nice of him to text us. Some guests just don't even show up. How do I get an unbuyable CrossFit t-shirt? The irony is Greg had these shirts made unbuyable, but then sold CrossFit. So, I mean, I mean, you got to take it for what it's fucking worth. And
Do you see
CrossFit will-
Sousa's latest comment?
if you guys are enjoying the audio quality, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Susan, you shouldn't be even listening to the show. Get Horvath on. Can you just send Horvath a link right now and we'll continue the show, part 2?
That would be awesome if we did that.
Okay, guys, before I check out and head off to the skate park, Brian and I want to tell you a few things. Brian, you better think of something good to say. Tomorrow I'm going on Chris Cooper's podcast. The next day we'll have Sam Briggs on. The day after that, we'll have Devin Lorette on. And that's all we have scheduled this week. Man, maybe we should do someone on Wednesday too. Do you guys want to get someone on Wednesday?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Today's a very important day, though. We should update everyone on this because Travis Mayer is back to training.
Oh, where did you see that?
He posted on Instagram. It might have been yesterday, but now he's back full force, ready to get after the next season. And I feel like we to report that.
Do you want me to see if I can call Travis Mayer?
Yeah.
Let's see. Travis.
Answering and not training.
You could hear
Tell him my preseason rankings for next. He'll hang up.
I wonder if I can FaceTime him onto the podcast.
I mean,
I
we
can't hear.
FaceTimed up. We had people in before.
Yeah, but I'm trying something fancy now.
That thing you do with
Trying to-
Sousa where we could hear him, but you could not?
Yeah. I call a guy. But yeah. he
Everyone
didn't
else can
answer.
hear him?
He didn't answer.
Oh, new computer is here.
Yes.
Hopefully have it all set up by this week sometime.
Brian got a new computer, but it only has USB-C port, so he wasn't able to hook up the Ethernet and the mic up to it, so he's still using his old computer, but it should be fixed in the next day or two. Call TDC. Yeah, I I don't want to burn too many bridges. Thanks for the suggestion, Bruce. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I don't know. How do I'm going to try to hang up on all you guys now and get off the live feed. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We don't have a show tomorrow. Is that true?
You're going on. You said you're going around with Cooper tomorrow, and
Yes.
I am. What's Wednesday? Actually, I'm talking to Matt Torres tomorrow. Dallin's coach.
Why are you talking to him?
Um,
I thought you get your programming from James Hobart.
no, just about the athletes that he works with.
Just like research, just like.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you take this job seriously.
Yep, I think there might be an athlete who he's working with that even Dallin might not know about yet.
Can you tell us who?
I don't know who it is. That's
Is
I
he
might
gonna
find out
reveal it?
tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for the donations today. Always awesome. Dallin Pepper, thanks for coming on. Joe Pepper, thanks for coming on. Ryan Jevning, nope, you didn't do anything this show. And I retract that. Thank you. And Matt Souza, call Laura Horvath.